Welcome. So, yesterday I shared with you this very basic practice that was, mm, in fact, the most important one for me to increase my capacity to feel, to start feeling safe with my feelings, and in fact, to foster a relationship with my feelings that was possible only when I was able to really attune to how I experience them as emotional qualities, emotional energies in my body, and start relating with them, start listening to them in a different way. And one thing that I learned is that it is more important to be able to experience the emotion as it comes and let it move through your body while staying present with it. That this actually creates a release and an opening for investigation what this emotion is coming to tell you, rather than turning towards understanding why is this emotion coming, what started it, who's to blame oftentimes, that we often do, So instead of reacting to the emotional quality the moment we feel it, when the garden hose is still sprinkling its all water all over the place and we're running around asking who started the water, who opened the freaking tap, right? My invitation is to just sit and allow the flow of water to stabilize, and then take a moment to investigate, first of all, within you. What's so important? What do you need? What do you long for? What is this emotion coming to tell me? And then, perhaps, second of all, looking outside to see what started it, and how do I want to respond to what started it from a place of groundedness, centeredness, self-connection, from a place of choiceful response rather than reactivity. So this is where we're heading, actually, with all of this that I'm sharing with you. And one more challenge related to our emotions is that they don't always come as a response to a stimuli, from like an immediate stimuli from the outside world. They sometimes have a delay in showing up. Sometimes this delay is one of years and years, when it wasn't safe, it wasn't the time to experience all of this emotional havoc, and so they come when we are resilient enough to feel whatever we feel. So that's one hint for you. Whenever you feel something, it means that something in you already trusts that you can handle it, that you can hold it, that you can live it. And then, and even an old emotion that is lived, when I say lived, I mean exactly experienced in its fullness in your body, with you being present, then it can get released and can just go move, making space for new life to happen. So sometimes these are old emotions, old stories that are being released. And sometimes it's more immediate, although it may be still not clear to us what is happening. And I will give you an example. Some time ago, like when I was, I think, a teenager, I was visiting friends, and we went horse riding. We were horse riding on this beautiful sandy beach with the sea coming and the sun. It was like the perfect day, until my horse stumbled and I fell like really big time, making a salto onto the sand. So as this happened, everyone was looking at me, checking if I was all right. And, I didn't want to get hysterical or anything. I was a bit ashamed of what happened. And also, I kind of look around there, nothing happened really, I'm fine, nothing hurts. Back on horse, and we go, right? And then, in the evening of that day, I had an exchange with my boyfriend, and he said something, it wasn't a big thing, but I got hysterical. Like really, I was furious, I was sobbing, and all the while I was thinking, what has come over me? Like, what is this? And it was just too strong to stop. It was just and I was crying then. I didn't want him to come closer. Like, it really, really felt horrible. So in the morning we cleared it. I was more present and available to speak, and he was really patient and understanding with me. Um, but what I realized years and years later was that this emotional response that I put on something that he did was actually a release of all the shock and tension from my falling off the horse. Because perhaps nothing happened to my physical body, but I got so freaking scared. It was such a shocking, disorientating experience, and my body released a huge dosage of adrenaline, cortisol, or whatever other hormones to prepare me to react in this sudden situation. And all of this adrenaline and cortisol had to be released from the system for the system to be in balance, back in balance. And this is actually something that Peter Levine talks about in his book on releasing trauma. He gives an example of an antelope being chased by a lion and then escaping the chase, standing somewhere in bushes and shaking, like her whole body shaking out the arousal, the adrenaline, all of these emotional qualities, so that it can come back to grazing and peace and inner body centeredness and harmony. And this is something most of us is not being taught, that when shaking comes, it's a good sign. And it's important to really let it happen. Of course, in an environment that is safe to do that, to feel it. But, these emotional responses, they may be quite intense. Sometimes it's shaking, sometimes it's crying, weeping, screaming, anything that you need to release. And your body tells you. So you don't have to orchestrate it. It just comes. And it's beautiful if you can have another person holding space for you, being there for you. When I say holding space, I mean just being. They don't have to do anything, they don't have to fix anything. Just so you know that there's someone here, an accepting presence for you to experience whatever you experience. So next time an emotional reaction comes that you have no clue where it comes from, my invitation is that instead of looking for who did what and, trying to find a reason, and this is what our brain, what our mind starts to do, and it wants to do it. This is what it's made to do. So you can tell to your mind at this point, just wait, darling, not now. And then allow it to move. And when you're done, you will have plenty of time to involve your mind and unpack whatever you believe happened that originated this emotional reaction. But by then, it actually becomes a history, an old story that no longer is relevant because you lived it, you experienced it, and now it's over. So you can just look around, make sense of it, and continue with your life more free to feel. Enjoy your day.